This moment, we're going on to child appropriateness in the classroom. It was at this moment in our training session on Monday night that I asked Cindy Hess to come in and share with us a little bit about the training that the teachers go through to keep that professional relationship with the children in school. I know we're not a school system, but it is always good to practice some of those same things that the teachers practice on a daily basis, especially with today's society the way it is. It's always good to keep that level of professionalism and appropriateness between the child and yourself. The first thing she wanted to let us know is we never investigate, but we can ask questions. She gave an example of a child who came into her office with this massive black and blue eye. She didn't call the investigation. She didn't call the people right away. Her first response was, "Oh my gosh, that looks like it hurts. What happened to your eye?" Children, as you know, will say anything. That's why they made a TV show saying children will say the darndest things. They're really open. All you got to do is ask questions and they'll tell you exactly what's going on in their lives, basically. As she found out, that child was playing football and the ball came and he miscalculated where that football was going and it ended up right in his eye. He didn't catch it right. So she could have really made a bad assumption and called Child Protective Services without needing to and put this family through a lot of rough times. But instead she asked basic questions and the child was more than forthcoming on giving her the answers. And she quickly found out that, a simple accident. Also, if you do suspect some kind of abuse, please tell Pastor Sabrina, and we'll probably get together Pastor Jade. So just that the church leadership is aware of what's going on, and if there's anything we need to do insurance policy wise, we are all in the know together and can be there as support for you. Let us know, but do not leave the reporting to us or the office staff. It is not our responsibility. We do not know the situation firsthand. Chances are we haven't seen or heard like you have. That child is telling you or you have seen it firsthand. That makes you the first eyewitness. And anything you tell us that you want us to report is just hearsay, and that does not hold up. So it has to be you. Now, Pastor Jade and I will be there with you. We can stay there with you. We can be there for you. We can be there the whole way through the investigation as far as what you need to do on your part. We can be there the whole time, but we cannot give the account because the account that we have is a hearsay account. What they're looking for is an eyewitness account, and that would be you. So the investigation, the calling in for the abuse is your responsibility still. Please let us know ahead of time so that we as a church, as an organization, are aware and can take any appropriate steps that we need to insurance-wise, though. But you need to be the one that calls it in. And Miss Cindy and Miss Eunice are going to be giving me numbers to give to you guys, or in case we ever need to use those numbers. Hopefully that'll never be the case. Some other reminders that Cindy gave was if you do suspect abuse, don't go and tell the parents, "Hey, I think you're abusing your child and I made this phone call." Don't do that. Of course, it makes sense. They're going to get upset. You don't know what they're going to do as retaliation as far as taking it out on you. But just so you know, 1, don't tell the parents. 2, all reports that are made confidential. They do not tell the parents, "Hey, so-and-so from the church," or "Hey, so-and-so from VBS," or so-and-so. They don't tell them who made the report. They just said, "We had this allegation come through and we need to check it out." So all reports are confidential, and all reports that are made in good faith protect you from any legal action that the parents might want to take. They might try to come after you and sue you. you really don't need to worry about it. You are protected under the law as making this report in good faith, that's what you truly believed was happening at the moment. Plus, you will have the church too will help as much as we can as far as our insurance goes. But that would be something that we would have to check in further on to see what we can do that way. But legally, there's nothing they can do. It is done just like if you were to help somebody with CPR and you accidentally break a rib because you gave them CPR, you are protected under the Good Samaritan law. And so it is the same thing here. You are protected against retaliation when you make a report in good faith. Some obvious ones that Cindy reminded us of is don't be alone with the children. Don't grab a kid. Don't smack a kid. All of these sound like, why did she even need to read this? But they're just reminders of don't do these things. Don't make it look like you're doing these things because somebody could take it totally out of context. Also, some other things that can be taken out of context are full frontal hugs. It is best to give the side hugs. I know when those small children come running at you and they're just excited to see you and want to give you the biggest hug they can give you, it's hard to stop them. Embrace them. Most of the time their parents are nearby anyhow. I have this happen a lot, especially with the smaller children. They just come running at you. I squat down to make sure that I give them a hug. And I do everything I can not to fall backwards on my lap because they're running at you at such full force anyhow. But as much as you can, give a side hug. It still shows them that you love them, that you care for them, but it is that layer of protection. Also, don't allow kids to sit on your lap or carry them. And something I wasn't made aware of until this training night that Cindy shared with us is be careful of piggyback rides. Don't give children piggyback rides. She just said that can be misinterpreted just as much as the other two things of carrying the children and letting them sit on your laps. I was taken back by that, but she said if you just really think about it, a lot of people take piggyback rides and misinterpret them. So again, this is a protection layer for you to keep anybody from making a false accusation against you. I know everything we do is out of love and care for these children, but with this day and age, again, we cannot be too careful. Try to keep the kids from making romantic comments like, do you want to be my girlfriend or boyfriend? Most of the time, they don't even know what that means. Sometimes they say it to adults because they know the adults care for them. Just try to stop it right then and there, but be respectful with your answer on how you stop them, and just be honest with them. Hey, we're in church. We're not here for that right now. So just, veer them away from that kind of talk. With that, though, relationships are one of the most important things for a child. And you may be that one to show them Christ's love. You may be that only one that they see Christ's love come through. And so while we want to protect ourselves, we want to make sure that we don't hold them at arm's length. We want to be respectful to them like you would any other adult in the church. And that's how I want you to treat the child as far as love and respect and care goes for. Treat them like you would any other adult in the church. I mean, you wouldn't go and set another adult on your lap. You wouldn't belittle another adult. Try to act that same way with that child. That relationship will grow and mature with that child. And it is through that kind of relationship that they will see the love of Christ coming through you. Also, if you do need to discipline a child or correct them, try to get eye to eye with them if they are being really disruptive in the class, and talk to them in a respectful manner. Sometimes We adults can become extremely intimidating, and it might shut a child down from being able to talk to you if you are standing over them and they have to look up at you. So try to get eye to eye. It helps calm them down. It helps de-escalate the situation that's going on, and they will feel the respect from you. And because of that, they will also show you respect back. Also, if you are the only teacher in a classroom, and I did mention this earlier, keep the door ajar. Make sure that you can still be seen and heard from the window or from the door. It is for your protection. As much as we want to protect these children, and that is our first priority as volunteers, as your leader, as your children's pastor, I want to make sure that all my volunteers are protected. And the best way I can do that is keeping 2 teachers per classroom. And if I'm not able to do that because of lack of volunteers, please keep your door ajar and make sure that at any given moment, anybody can hear you or see you, what's going on in your classroom. That is a really good protection to have. That is taught in a lot of the child safety courses that I know many teachers in my last school had to go through, things that I was taught as a foster parent going through class. It's just for your protection. When you have that door ajar, and you can see through those windows, it just gives the perception that you have nothing to hide. Once you start shutting doors and closing off windows and you're alone with children in the classroom, that gives the perception that there's something to hide, and maybe we need to be a little cautious of that. We don't want to give that perception off at all. I know none of you do. So for our own protections, this is why we want to try to keep those doors ajar and the windows free and clear so that we can see through them. On that same note, I want to ask each and every one of you on WOW, during Sunday school, during any time that you have children at any given moment, please have walkie-talkies on you and on. That is the best way of communication. If you need me, I'm going to have one on me. I'm always circulating through the classroom Sunday morning. Also during WOW, I'm always walking around. I'll pop in at any given moment. If you need me right away, I'll be able to answer you and get there as soon as I can. That is also the best form of communication that our security team has, to get a hold of everybody, to let them know if there is a situation going on in the church that you need to be aware of. So please have that walkie-talkie on you so that you know what's going on, so that you can best protect those children that are in your care.